You do not manifest what you desire. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest based on who you are. You manifest based on what you've normalized. And that's why it is imperative that you get a really solid self concept. Self concept is the story that you unconsciously tell yourself about who you are, what your beliefs are, what you're capable of, what you're worthy of. If you change your self concept, you change your future. I'm going to say that again. Changing your subconscious mind, changing your self concepts, changing who you believe yourself to be is the fastest and perhaps the only way to manifest the desires that seem out of reach. Why? Because they're out of reach to who you are being in this moment. Most people don't realize that their outer reality is truly just a reflection of your inner world. The things that you tolerate, the behavior that you accept, whether it's good or bad, the advantages, the disadvantages that you have in your life are all there because you allowed them to be there, because you believe that is you are worthy of, because you believe that's what you deserve. So the universe is like a genie and it says, as you wish, as you wish. You walk around and say, oh, I'm so broke. Oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills this month? The universe hears that and says, as you wish. I'm going to keep serving up brokenness into your life because that's what you believe yourself to be, right? Or maybe it's in dating, right? Maybe you feel like you go out and people are not paying attention to you. No one wants to go out with you. There's no good people out there in the world. If that's what you believe, what happens is what you focus on is what you attract. So your brain literally begins to look for evidence to reinforce your beliefs because this is a way of keeping you safe. Now, this is such a cliche thing. I've heard like Tony Robbins, like a million other people do this, but it's like if you looked around this room and I told you to focus on all of the brown things, right? You would focus on the brown things and that's what you would be drawn to. And then close your eyes and tell me like how many pink things you saw. Like you would be so focused on looking for brown things in the room when someone tells you to look for some another color, for example, you would just be like, oh my God, I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't even focusing on that. Like I couldn't even see whether or not there was pink in that room because I was so focused on finding the brown things. Like that is such an old, like little test. So I'm sure you've seen that or you've heard it. So I don't want to be super cliche, but I was just using that example to reinforce the truth. See, now we're reinforcing that's actually kind of funny. Reinforce the truth that your brain focuses on and perceives only what it deems important. So I told you to focus on the brown. So your brain was thinking, okay, this is important. This is who I am. I look for brown things, right? So in the same way, if you're always saying you're broke, your brain's going to be like, shit, okay, yeah, I'm broke. So let me find reasons to reinforce this. Like, oh, you're going to find people and situations and like just things that are going to happen to you in your life that are going to reinforce the fact that you feel like you're broke. Or for example, if you think that you're hot, real life example, I, go out to the supermarket, for example, like this, no makeup, or like really faded makeup. I don't have my hair done, nothing. But people will still break their necks and look at me because I think that I look good. So that is reflected back to me in the universe. I could look homeless and I'll still get attention. Like people are going to be like, oh, there's something about her energy or something. You see what I'm saying? So, and then if we take that a step further, see that is like, because that sounds like so bimbo, right? But it's actually pretty deep if you really think about it. I'm just breaking it down in a way that everyone could really understand. But if you really think about it, like it's like neuro linguistic programming 101, right? NLP. So the idea is that your brain focuses on, hold on, I'm actually going to pull up the numbers. Okay. So your brain processes 11 million bits of information per second. However, our conscious mind can only handle 40 to 50 bits per second. I wasn't sure what the exact numbers are, so I Googled it. And I want you to understand the vast difference. Okay, we're talking about at any given moment, your mind, your body, your brain is perceiving 11 million bits of information. So you're looking around everything, all the different colors that are around you, right? That you're seeing. You're hearing things. Oh, I hear the air conditioning. You're feeling things. Oh, I feel crumbs under my feet, right? I feel the wooden floor under my feet. Oh, you're perceiving there's light coming from here. There's light coming from this screen. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that your brain is picking up on. However, it can only focus on a small number of things at one time. Hence, being exposed to 11 million bits of information in a single minute and only processing 40 to 50 bits. Okay. So there is no objective reality. Your reality is your perception. So what if you could change your perception? What if you could change the way that you think about things? What if you started to see yourself as a success? Think about it. You post content and you don't get a whole lot of likes, and then you start thinking, oh, I'm not good at this. I wasn't cut out for this. What if you rewrote that? What if you looked at it differently? Like, wow, I showed up. I showed up 5 times this week. I showed up once, whatever it is. I'm officially a content creator. Wow, what a success. I'm really doing this. Wow, look, 5 people liked it. 5 people who consistently liked my post. Like, wow. See, now you're changing the way you're perceiving the same exact situation. And when you do that, your brain is going to go and look for more evidence. You're thinking, wow, 5 people, I have 5 raving fans. I have raving fans. So now you start to see people who are raving fans like literally appear in your reality, right? Or like I said, you could perceive it a different way. You could have perceived it like, damn, I'm not cut out for this. I'm not doing well. And then what's going to happen is the world's going to mirror that back to you. You don't make sales. People don't DM you to work with you. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't show up and continue to create content. You don't put the podcast out. You don't create the offer that you know could change the world because you think, well, I'm not cut out for this. This is not who I am. This is why you need to fix your self concept. Your self concept has been influenced, it's been programmed into you from the moment you were born, heavily influenced by your family, your culture, your gender, the place where you live, your socioeconomic status, your childhood, different impressions on your brain that have trained you to see yourself in a certain way. And once again, as within, so without. So when you begin to say to yourself, okay, this is who I am, whatever that is, this is who I am, the world will mirror that back to you. So the question becomes, how do you embody the highest level version of yourself? And the answer is simple. You change your self concept, but you can't just change your self concept. Something has to happen in order to make your brain feel that it is safe to believe that you are this new version of yourself. And that's the work that we do here. I am shifting my content, pivoting a bit if you wish, and it's going to be about developing your self concept because you cannot lead a revolution. You cannot even manifest a free cup of coffee if you don't believe that you are worthy of it, if you don't believe that you have the identity of the person who does that kind of thing, because you manifest based on who you believe yourself to be. So let's change it. The old you is now dead, RIP, but the new you is gonna. Good luck.